All right. Thank you all very much. At this time, we will reconvene the regular meeting of the Suffern Central Board of Education for Tuesday, November 15th, 2022. Let the record reflect all board members are present with the exception of Dr. Nick Pond. Please rise for the pledge.
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. 1.07 student report. There's a student here tonight. Do we have a student report tonight? No. Huh? Maybe they forgot there was a meeting. All right. So I guess 1.08 minutes of the regular meeting, November 1st, 2022. Do I have a motion? Is that Mr. Frazier? Second? Mr. Shapiro. All those in favor signify by saying aye. Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? 1.09, superintendent comments.
All right, good evening, everyone. Last night, a total of 50 students, staff, parents, and community members gathered in this room as contributors to our Citizens Advisory Council called the Mountie Minds. The topic of last night's discussion was centered on communications and engagement. Specifically, we sought input about how our communications methods and received creative ideas on how we can enhance our student voice, improve parent engagement, and gain community partnerships. We will be sharing our major takeaways from the group in 2 weeks and look forward to reporting out on more specific information and also additional future meetings. Superintendent's Conference Day took place last Tuesday. Thank you to our partners from the Ramapo Police Department for providing us with crazed security training, where all staff members were trained in proper security protocols and bleeding control techniques. The majority of the day was centered on teachers meeting with colleagues to advance various curriculum initiatives, including a session for elementary school teachers regarding dyslexia. In fact, we're moving forward with several aspects related to our effort to identify and support our students with dyslexia. We are currently implementing a dyslexia screening program for all students in kindergarten through third grade. The screening program will share information about potential learning challenges for our young learners. Staff will receive training on how to interpret and respond to such indicators in early December. There's also a pilot of an explicit and systemic program called University of Florida Literacy Institute, or UFLI, Foundations, taking place at Montebello Elementary School. The pilot teaches students the foundational skills necessary for proficient reading. We will be evaluating its impact in the coming months. 20 of our staff members are currently participating in the Institute for Multisensory Education, Orton Gillingham training, and we are pleased to share that our dyslexia expert, Dr. Molly Ness, will be providing training for all staff members who teach reading during an upcoming extended day in January. There's certainly more work to be done on this front, but I'm pleased to share some of these more immediate efforts that the district is making to ensure that all of our educators are up to date on learning science as it pertains to reading. Thus concludes my superintendent's report for Tuesday, November 15th.
All right, thank you. Do we have a student now? We're going to go backwards. Student report.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Regarding events at the school, trials for winter sports will be started on Monday and will be taking place the rest of the week. Tomorrow, November 16th, senior portraits will be taking place throughout the day. Also, tomorrow morning is the American Math Competition for all students 9th through 12th grade interested in challenging themselves with difficult math problems. Tomorrow is another workshop for peer leadership where seniors meet with their assigned freshman group. Thursday night is the last of the office hours, and they'll take place in person this year. Monday in the cafeteria at the high school is the NCAA signing for seniors who have committed to play sport in college. November 22nd is another day for the senior portraits. Wednesday, November 30th at 6 p.m. in the high school cafeteria is a transition resources fair hosted by the special education department. The high school winter musical will be announced November 23rd during unit lunch. And Tuesday, November 29th, Heroes and Cool Kids will be going to the middle school for their first visit. Thank you.
All right, thank you. 1.10, public participation. This is public participation for action items only. If there are any comments, any speakers for our action items tonight, please approach the podium. All right. Oh.
Good evening. Hi, I'm Daniela Sepulveda. I'm here for the World Language Department. Just wanted to let you all know that on last week during the superintendent's conference, we as a World Language Department, FLES, middle school and high school, were given some time to meet together so that we could discuss the upcoming standards that are changing for us. It was a really great session. We were able to all see where we're at and where we need to go. And we really do look forward to having that time together because it's important I think we're at a good spot in terms of where the standards are going because we already, we do use the communicative method. So as far as where the standards are and where we line up with that, we are in a really good spot. So again, I wanted to say thank you for allowing us to have that time together because it's rare that we get all three programs in one room. So it was very productive and we look forward to doing that again soon. So thank you.
Thank you. Okay. All right. Yeah, action items only. Yep. All right. We'll move on to our action items then. So we have action items 2.01 through 2.08. Are there any items anybody wishes to pull from a consent agenda? No. All right. So then we will call for a consent agenda for action items 2.01 through 2.08. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Mr. Donnelly, second. Mrs. Hodge. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye. All those against? Any abstentions? Thank you all very much. (6.01) board member comments. Are there any board member comments at this time? Ms. Dickman?
All right. I just want to say that I went to the fall play over the weekend with Miss Hodge, the play that goes wrong. And it was excellent and funny and really involved some intricate choreography. And everyone just did a fantastic job. So I just want to thank Mr. McCarter, Mr. DeRosa, Miss Alessi, and Mr. Murray, and everyone in our theater department and the crew who just did a fantastic job. I would like to encourage everyone to go see the Suffern High School and Suffern Middle School productions. It's a great way to introduce your family or your kids to music and theater. The tickets are very reasonably priced. The parking is free. It's nearby. And you're also going to be supporting Suffern's music and theater departments, and that's a good thing. Thanks.
Thank you. Any other comments? No. All right. 7.01, public participation. This is public participation for district-related business. If you have matters that you wish to address to the board, please approach the podium. Please refrain from addressing any students or staff by name, and please keep comments to 3 minutes. Thank you. And of course, when you do approach the podium, just say who you are and your affiliation. Just let him put the mic on.
No problem. No problem. We'll just do it.
There you go.
But as I was saying, I have 2 children. one in the middle school, one in elementary school. My daughter Olivia had to do a presentation on Hoovervilles for a class project about a month ago. Comes home, she knows I was a history major in college, so she starts to do the report. And she types into her iPad the children sale in Hoovervilles, and about half the content's blocked on the iPad. So she turns to me and says, Dad, what's this all about? So I pull it up on my iPad. And kids apparently for sale never happen in this country, and the district doesn't think it's appropriate for them to see it. If it was the Holocaust, maybe they would see people in the gas chambers. That happened here in this country. Now I want to fast forward to what happened at my Montebello school. Okay, I don't know if it was aware of it, was well versed on Facebook. In Miss Cancaro's class, I'm going to read verbatim from the post. Students in Miss Cancaro's class at Montebello Elementary participated in an interactive read aloud every day where they spend 30 minutes reading a cultural, responsible story together and discussing one another's opinions. This week's class reads Sylvia and the Marshmallow Starter Revolution. The true story of two transgender women of color. They're also tackling the Odyssey as part of the Greek studies. It's my favorite part of the day. I don't know about everybody in this room, but I know I teach my children to support the police and not to run through picket lines in this book. If they're going to teach that and go off script, we should, as parents, should make that decision if our kids should be in that class. They should go out to the entire district. This can be taught in that class. We have, as parents, could pull our children out of that class to do something else. As I said, in my daughter's class, she couldn't even do a report on history. But meanwhile, the district is supporting transgender and lesbian, which is fine. People have their preference. But as parents, we should know about that before it's given. If that's part of the curriculum, that may be, I'm not sure. If it's not part of the curriculum, that teacher should be fired immediately for going off script and not telling the parents what was going on in that class beforehand. Now, as one other separate note, my daughter, who was in that district school before for 6 years, says that particular teacher does this regularly, calling kids activists. I don't know, maybe you guys want your kids to be activists, but as a parent, these are special ed kids, okay, that can't even read and write. And they're being taught about activism. My daughter brought a very good point when I showed it to my little girl. She says, Dad, we don't know what babies are born yet. And they're learning about this in the schools. I don't know about this board, but as a parent and as a voter in the district, I'm appalled that this teacher has a job around this district. And that principal, that principal in the school allowed it to happen. He should be fired and suspended if it's not part of the curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you for your comments. In the future, again, if you want to speak about your opinions on what the district is teaching in class, that's perfectly legitimate. But again, this is not a forum to publicly attack teachers or principals. If you have specific issues with teachers or principals, then please email them to the board and to administration. Are there any other speakers?
Good evening. I'm going to lighten up and talk about dyslexia again. My name is Scott Grossman, and I apologize in advance if I come across as verbose or overly analytical, but I am a lawyer by trade, so I can't help it. Now, you heard from a lot of people already about the issue of dyslexia, and I'm not here to pile on, but I like to lend what I think is some perspective. And for the purpose of brevity, when I say dyslexia, I also mean to encompass dysgraphia and dyscalculia as well. So now that we have your attention, I couldn't help but thinking about what was next. So kind of what should be done or can be done in the framework of FAPE, which anyone here is not familiar, that's the Free Appropriate Public Education. And when I was thinking about it, I really became focused on the word appropriate. So what is appropriate for dyslexic students? And I think it's time we go beyond conversation and acknowledgement, which has been great, and begin thinking about and talking about implementing appropriate instruction for our dyslexic students, and hopefully some mandatory training for educators. And I heard Dr. Gunderson speaking earlier about some of that, and I certainly appreciate hearing about it. It's the first, I think, all of us have heard about some of this. I think it's a great step in the first direction, great step in the right direction. But in preparing to speak to you tonight, I went directly to the main sources. Again, being an attorney, I went to the federal law, and the state education website and the Suffern Central District website curriculum information. And what I found was fascinating, and I think some of the things I didn't find was also equally as interesting. And what I did find, and I'll keep it in kind of in a framework of a timeline, because I think it's important, is obviously the New York State Education Department issued its guidelines with regard to next generation English language arts, which is, there's a link to that right on your website, which is great. But a few important developments happened after that was implemented in 2017. And in fact, in that same year, there was a law, obviously, that was passed, amending the education law, which directed the Commissioner of Education to do a memorandum, which directed the districts in the state to come up with a plan with regard to how dyslexic students and how their issues should be approached. And that memorandum was released in August 2018, which was obviously or incidentally subsequent to the ELA learning standards that I just spoke of. And included, in my opinion at least, within that memorandum, or at least as part of it, was a document called Meeting the Needs of Students with Dyslexia, Dysgraphia, and Dyscalculia. And if you've never seen it or heard of it, I urge you to take a look at it. The document contains the following directive, and this is verbatim. Districts must ensure that students with learning disabilities resulting from dyslexia, dysgraphia, and dyscalculia receive appropriate, specifically designated instruction with appropriate frequency, duration, and instructional grouping specific to the student's individual needs. And there it was, right in the document, the word appropriate, that A in FAPE. And that brings us to now. So keeping all of this in mind, I was wondering, where's our district's specific, appropriate, specially designed instruction for our dyslexic kids? There's nothing mentioned specifically in the district's July 22 special education plan that I could see. And in fact, we don't even know whether our kids' teachers, special education, or otherwise are appropriately trained or certified to devise and implement appropriate specially designed instruction for our kids. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that they're not trying. What I'm saying is they're not properly equipped to do so, and that's not their fault. So what I'm saying is let's stop the struggles for our dyslexic kids. Let's bring in certified specialists who know how to teach them, or give our current teachers the mandatory training they need to comply with the law and help our kids. They're struggling. This is up to 20% of the district student body, a full 1/5. And the good news is that it's in your power to help this, to rectify this, to change this. And your acknowledgement of the issues facing our dyslexic kids remains appreciated. And from what I've heard, obviously some things are being done. And it's my opinion that it's time for something to really be implemented and be transparent about. Get it up on the website, share it with the parents, let them know what's going on. And I thank you for your time.
All right, thank you. Are any other speakers? No. All right. Then we'll close. You kind of look like you were
I was
on the fence.
I didn't know, but I'm going to do it. Thank you. That was wonderful and so informative. And thank you, Dr. Gunderson and the Board of Education for making some changes, and I'm thrilled to hear that. I just am moved to share something that I was presented with from an actual dyslexia specialist, a Farley Dickinson University Orton Gillingham certified teacher in dyslexia who has a master's in special education and a dyslexia tutor. She happened to have been Giovanni's kindergarten teacher, my son's Giovanni's kindergarten teacher. He went to the Academy of St. Paul's. They teach phonics-based structured literacy there. And just today, Giovanni said to, I'm not supposed to say his name, my son said that, Mommy, why did I excel in kindergarten? He did. He was excelling. I was a class mom, went in often, and I would appeal to the kindergarten teacher. How is he doing? Do you notice anything? I specifically went to St. Paul's because I knew they were phonics based. I knew she was a dyslexia specialist. And I had grave misgivings that something was awry with this very bright, articulate boy there were some things that I was noticing when he was 4. He was tested by the district and they said to wait and see. I did speak to the principal, who I adore, at Viola. And when I heard that the curriculum was Lucy Culkin and my son was dyslexic, not diagnosed, but my inclination was that he was dyslexic, I needed to give him the best shot in kindergarten and to really see. And I knew if she's a dyslexia specialist, she's going to really be able to observe. And she said, there's nothing there. He's doing great. He was getting a multi-sensory Orton Gillingham based, phonics based curriculum, and he wasn't being pulled out 2 to 3 times a day. He didn't need special education because he was peer level excelling. Now in 3rd grade, he says, why is it so hard? So here's the quote that I just needed to share. When I shared with his kindergarten teacher that Giovanni's struggling, that he is we love Viola. We love it. He loves it there, but he's struggling and they're using balanced literacy. And she said, no, this is a quote. Lucy Culkin is balanced literacy with a couple of Orton Gillingham-like activities so they can keep selling horrible curriculum that does not serve the kids well. They are in the business to make money. There is a vast difference between Orton Gillingham and balanced literacy. Science of reading is not taught in any way, shape, or form in college teacher programs. So most teachers have no idea how to teach children to read. They simply follow the curriculum they are handed. Certified Orton Gillingham teachers, unlike teachers who attend 30-hour seminars, have been explicitly taught how to teach reading skills and how to correct errors. Training is so very necessary. Certified teachers are required to have 200 supervised practicum hours with actual dyslexic students for over 2 years. We are trained through pre-K through adult, which means we know the necessary foundational skills as well as future skills. Multi-sensory instruction benefits all students in all subjects. And she goes on to say, Lucy Culkin had the research from 20 years ago that said her type of program fails students. She published anyway and made a ton of money while so many students continue to struggle today. I have sent the board and Dr. Gunderson a very profound and powerful podcast called Sold a Story. And I hope that you have taken the time to listen to it because it's really thought-provoking. And as I wanted to show this example of when a properly certified teacher who knows how to work with dyslexic students, how they can excel. They don't need to be pulled out time and time again, but can be in the classroom using their bright minds and not feeling different. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other speakers? Okay. Superintendent, closing comments?
I have no additional comments.
All right. Thank you very much. Then I think that will do it for tonight. Our next meeting will be in 3 weeks. It'll be Tuesday, December 6th. So I hope everybody has a wonderful holiday next week and enjoy some time with your family, enjoy some good food. And we will see you in 3 weeks. Do I have a motion to adjourn? Ms. Dickman, second. Mrs. Hodge. All those in favor signify by saying aye. 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 Thank you all very much. This meeting is adjourned. We will see you in 3 weeks.
Yes.